Hey, it's an unstoppable day. You are here live for our special broadcast of the Real Men Speak podcast. We'll be starting in about 30 seconds. So come on in. Come on in. Thank you for joining us on Facebook as well as YouTube. Come on in, grab a seat. Make sure you have your pen and your paper because we're going to be giving you a brief overview of what's going to be happening coming up in October with the Next Level Leadership Summit. So we want you to get all the information. Again, we'll be starting shortly. So come on in, like and share. Come on in, like and share.
Hello, hello. Hear you.
Hey,
There we go.
live TV, live podcast. I'm welcoming you to another episode of the Real Men Speak podcast. And as you see, we're doing it live as opposed to taped. So that's why we're getting what we're getting. So thank you. Come on in, like and share. I am your host, the humble Terrence, the unstoppable Coach Leffridge with Unstoppable Coaching Services. The Real Men Speak podcast, where real men speak because we know when real men speak, not only are lives changed, but nations are changed. So we want you to come on in, like and share. Come on in, like and share. We've got a special broadcast with you tonight. We are talking about leadership. And the Lord knows with what we are dealing with right now, we need some leaders to step up, speak out, and help us make a difference in our world. Now, notice that I said help us. We're not depending on them to do everything. We are asking them to help us so that we all can do what we need to do, so that we all can get to the next level, so that we can all get to the summit where we need to be as a nation, as a country, as a global society. And so it's apropos that we would be talking tonight about the Next Level Leadership Summit that's coming up on October 8th through October 10th, a live virtual event that's going to talk about leadership in all its different formats and forms so that you can take your leadership wherever it may be to the next level. And we have none other than the host of the Next Level Leadership Summit with us, the one, the only, the man who always introduces us to ourselves, Mr. Cicone Prince. Hey, Cicone, how are you?
I'm doing fine. And you, Coach T?
Hey, well, you know, I'm making it do what it do despite
Yeah.
what's going on. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to come talk to us about this momentous summit that you have coming up in October. But why don't you take a second and reintroduce yourselves to some and introduce yourself for the first time to others to our Real Men Speak platform.
Well, I want to thank Coach T for allowing me this opportunity to come on here. In fact, my name is Cicone Prince of CiconePrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. But I am going to be doing not just me, myself, but I have a host of individuals that's going to be joining me for our Next Level Leadership Summit. And I am so excited because this summit is going to allow you an opportunity to learn some tools and techniques and some skills needed to become a more effective leader. And this event has been 5 years in the making. I mean, this is our 5th summit, and we're so excited about it. And unfortunately, we weren't able to do it live in Atlanta like we planned on, but we are going to be doing it virtually. And so I'm looking forward to that. And we have some surprises coming that you don't want to miss.
And that is absolutely sure that is going to be it. It's the Next Level Leadership Summit. Now, this summit is, even though it is a hybrid of what you've been doing for the past 4 years, you've taken a special interest in leadership this year. Why is this so important that we talk about leadership at this summit?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I started off the year changing, in fact, the name of the summit from Are You Climbing the Wrong Mountain to Next Level Leadership. And one of the reasons I did that is because it was the next logical step. After you've learned how to lead yourself, the next thing you can do is help lead others. You can help teach them how to do the same. So you go from a personal development standpoint to more of a community development. And so that was our approach as far as changing it from Are You Climbing the Wrong Mountain to Next Level Leadership Summit. And so I'm so excited about what we're going to be able to share with you because we have several different categories of leadership.
And let's take a moment to talk about those different categories because, yes, you have a number of different categories. And when you think about leadership, you think about leadership. I know I think about leadership of your family, leadership in your community, government leadership, and leadership in business. But those are just the surface ones. Those are the ones that we normally think about. You go even deeper in this summit, and you talk about a couple of different other important forms of leadership. And the first one that you talk about is inner leadership. Why don't you tell us a little bit what you mean by that when a person has inner leadership?
Well, inner leadership is like leading yourself, because without inner leadership, all those other categories become that much harder. If you haven't learned how to lead yourself, if you haven't learned how to take your own initiative and actually discipline yourself, how can you discipline others? And Michael Jordan said it like this. He said, in order to be the best, you have to demand the best of yourself, and then you can demand the best of others. And so inner leadership is really going to focus on helping you to understand the importance of leading yourself, leading from the inside, not for show, not for the cameras, not for applause, but leading yourself. And so that's why I wanted to include that in our list of categories for leadership.
That's a great answer. And you were gracious enough to be part of our Real Men Speak Summit back in June. And we had some powerhouse speakers on that platform. And one of them was Dr. George C. Frazier. And he spoke specifically about inner leadership when he said, before you can be a leader of many, you've got to be a leader of one. And I thought that was so profound and so powerful. And that speaks definitely to what you're talking about inner leadership, being able to lead yourself first before you even attempt to lead other people. Would you agree with that statement?
I definitely would agree. In And there's an African proverb that says, if you conquer the enemy within, the enemy without can do you no harm. And so we need to learn how to conquer ourselves first, and then we can conquer the world around us.
Absolutely. We're talking with Cicone Prince, the founder of the Next Level Leadership Summit. You can get more information about the summit that's coming up October 8th through 10th from the comfort of your home and your computer. You can look at the link scrolling below, NLLSummit.com, where you can get all the information as we continue to chop it up with Cicone. We've got Arlene Collins, who's checking us out in the comments. Hello, my BBS brothers. Hello, my BBS sister. We've got Maureen, Victory is Mine, Bobo, watching us from Ohio. Hello to you too. Make sure you guys check out that link, nextlevelleadershipsummit.com, NLLsummit.com. As we continue the conversation, we talked about inner leadership, but now inner leadership, just like most things, what's on the inside has to come up and has to come out. And if there's an inner leader in you, then the world needs to see that inner leadership come out. And so you talk about outer leadership as well. So what's outer leadership all about?
Outer leadership really is more along the lines of, I guess you would call crisis management. Because later on, in fact, we talk about corporate leadership and we talk about organizational leadership. And those, of course, have their own different dynamics. But outer leadership is a position that you weren't hired for and you didn't volunteer for, but it's needed nonetheless. Like I say, in crisis management or in an emergency situation. For instance, if you are on an airplane that unfortunately has gone down wherever, right, whether it's over land or over water, and you're sitting in the exit row, they ask you, of course, first of all, are you willing to actually help? But in order for you to do that, you have to have a certain amount of discipline, a certain amount of communication skills, and a willingness to step up to the plate and do what's needed in the time of need. Another example, a building being on fire. No one seems to know how to get out or what to do. There's no time for a vote. There's no time for you to cast lots. There's no time to interview anybody. Something needs to be done. So you have to learn how to lead from that standpoint, lead in that moment, lead at that time. There was a local business here, and this is right when the COVID stuff just kicked off. They were a nail shop, a nail technician shop. Our hospitals were running out of masks. They voluntarily gave their masks to the hospitals because the frontline workers needed them more than they needed. And so it's that kind of leadership, being able to see a need and meet the need in the time of need.
And that's so important. And I love how you said sometimes you don't volunteer for these things. Sometimes you're voluntold. Sometimes you're not asked to do these things. You're called to do these things because some people see in you many times what we don't see in ourselves. And that's that leadership. In times of crisis, it's just like cream in coffee. It rises to the top. In times of crisis, there are certain people that just have that leadership quality that can rise up and be a strong foundation in times of crisis. And that's when outer leadership really comes into play. And if you come to the Next Level Leadership Summit on October 8th through October 10th, we're going to go more in depth into all these different types of leadership. And you may see yourself in one, two, maybe a couple of different leadership areas. And if you do, then Cicone will have definitely served his purpose by introducing you to yourself as the leader that you were created to be. So that's one reason right there why you need to have yourself in the place on October 8th to October 10th. Now, before we talk more about the leadership, the different styles, let's talk about the event, because the event is going to span over 2.5 days, correct?
Correct, it is. It's actually going to start on Thursday, October the 8th. We're going to have a summit opening online. It's going to be virtual. But then you're going to do a recap. We're going to, and I'm actually putting together a real moving and touching video about the last 4 years and how we got started and where we are now. So I'm going to do a recap video, have a chance to talk with our MC, like Wonder Graham, and we're going to talk about, just the growth of the event. But then that Thursday night, after we've done all of that, we're going to dismiss everybody so that they can go and watch the pre-recorded workshops. The pre-recorded workshops. And I wanted to make sure that they were pre-recorded so that people could have an opportunity to actually pause and rewind them if needed. They can make their notes. They can watch them again and again if needed, and make their questions and stuff, because we're going to have a Q&A that Saturday. So before I skip over Friday evening, we're going to be back on live, but we're going to have a panel discussion with all of the workshop facilitators. And that's going to be about an hour long, I think from 7:30 to 8:30 that Friday night. Have all of the workshop facilitators on, the actual MC, and even our DJ. If a DJ Mac is going to be a part of this as well. So we're going to have a chance, to really, as you say, chop it up about leadership and what it means to be a leader. And we're going to get a different take from all of the workshop facilitators. So that's going to be great. But then that Saturday, in order to make sure that I gave everybody their own little time slot, we have 30-minute Q&A sessions. 30-minute Q&A sessions. And those sessions are going to be just for that workshop facilitator to actually talk about their workshop and answer any questions that were submitted based on the people that watched the workshop that Thursday or that Friday. So we're going to start with that, and each speaker is going to have their own little time slot in order to talk about their workshop video.
Wow, that is going to be fantastic. Chalk filled. And so just so you know, just to give you a little snippet, he's got a workbook that is part of the summit. So, you're not just going to come there like you would come to any conference and sit with your arms folded or with your legs crossed, and you're not going to be able to do anything. This is going to be a working conference, because in order for you to find out the leader that's inside of you, you've got to put in some work. It's leadership, and this is your ship, and you've got to steer this ship only as a leader can. So that's what we're going to help you do over these next 2 days in October 8th through October 10th. Again, you can go register right now. We don't want you to stop watching the video, but you can still go to another tab and register right now for the NLL Summit, NLLSummit.com, because this is going to be, as they used to say back in the day, it's going to be a stone gas, honey. And it's going to be worth the money if you sign up for this. And there's some special pricing on the website, but you got to go there to get the information. So let's jump back in, because we've only scratched the surface on a little bit of the leadership things that we're going to be talking about over those 2 days. And we know, Cicone, and you know better than most, that leadership is all in the eyes of the beholder. And depending on if you have female eyes or if you have male eyes, it determines what your leadership style may or may not be. So why is it important for us to distinguish in this conference the differences as well as the similarities between the gender leadership, male and female?
Well, I think one of the biggest issues that we have is that, we try to use a broad brush to paint everybody exactly the same. And to me, that's problematic, because we are all different, which is why we have seven different categories of leadership. And 2 of those categories, one is male leadership, the other one is female leadership. And what we're going to do is we're going to help somebody who is put in a position to where they either lead in mostly males or mostly females to understand the dynamics that come with leading those groups of individuals. And I'm saying this, and I know even when I thought about it, I said, I'm probably going to take some flack for this, but there is a reality to it. The most dominating point or feature when it comes to leading men is leading with facts. You know, the most dominating point that comes to say leading with women is leading with feelings. Now, that doesn't say that men don't have feelings, and that don't say that women don't evaluate facts. But if you don't understand those two different dynamics, you're going to say male-dominated organization trying to lead with feelings, and that won't work, or go to a female-dominated organization and try to lead with facts, and that may get you some point, but you're going to miss something. So I wanted to make sure that we distinguish between male leadership and female leadership. So that's one of the reasons why, in fact, we focus on those two different types of leadership.
Absolutely. And I think those are important distinctions to make, because as we move as leaders and as we recruit and build new leadership, it's important for men to know how to lead women as well as leading men. It's important for women to know how to lead women as well as it is that they lead men, because we are thank God, we are becoming a society where leadership isn't solely based upon your gender or some of those other demographics that have been holding true leaders down from being the leaders that they were meant to be. So these are great distinctions, and I know that you're going to be providing great speakers that are going to be speaking on these topics that are going to bring clarity to the ideals of leadership, and then give ideals on how we can all be better leaders. And leaders are not only needed in the home, they're not only needed in their community, they're needed in government as well as in business. So you're also talking about corporate leadership. Tell us why it's important to distinguish corporate leadership from all the other leadership things that we'll be talking about over those 2 days.
Well, corporate leadership is leading for profit. Corporate leadership is leading for profit. And so there are a different set of motivations when it comes to corporate leadership. You know, I mean, literally, you're looking at the bottom line. Are we making a profit? Are we able to cover all our bills and pay our shareholders? And are we able to turn a profit? That's what corporate leadership focuses on. There are corporate organizations that have mission statements. There are civil organizations that have mission statements. But in those mission statements for the corporate organization, there should be a sense of longevity, meaning that they are in business to stay in business. They are in business to make money in order to actually be able to employ people, you know, to grow the company and to be an asset to the community. So again, there's a different set of dynamics when it comes to corporate leadership. And so we're going to be focusing on how do you make the most of leading in a corporation? How is it that you approach corporate leadership? Because if you're just approaching it from one particular aspect and you're not really thinking about how is this going to help us be around next year or the year after or the year after that, then you may be missing something. But understanding that corporate leadership is centered around leading for profit, that should help shape how you approach and how you deal with corporate leadership. So we're excited about that workshop as well.
I love it. I love it. And when you got a heavy hitter that's going to be talking about that corporate leadership that you guys will only find out about if you go over to NLLSummit.com, and you can get all that information about these heavy hitters that Cicone has assembled for the purpose of teaching you about leadership and helping you get to the next level of your greatness. And we talked about corporate leadership. We talked about male, female. We talked about inner and outer leadership. But Cicone, I was just on another show prior to this show, and I was listening to these young men talk about our leaders or our lack thereof. And, you know, there's a phrase that says out of the mouth of babes, and then you fill in the blank after that. And there is a yearning in our youth for leadership. There is a yearning in our youth for them to be led and for them to be taught how to be future leaders. And I think it's really important. And I'm so glad that you've added this extra layer of leadership to the conference that talks about youth leadership. Why was it so important to you to have that as part of this conference?
Well, youth leadership is critical because in order to lead our youth, we have to lead them with hope. We have to lead our youth with hope. We have to help them to see beyond today and see the future. We have to help them to see that there's something worth fighting for. And so restoring hope, restoring what it is that they need in order to continue to make the world a better place. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have that youth leadership component, because oftentimes a lot of us think that the youth are a lost cause. But the reality is that if they are given the proper tools, if they're given hope, they will find a way to make things better. A lot of the things we're seeing right now is a result of hopelessness. And I know that there are a lot of things in our world, in our society, that is devoid of hope, that drains us of hope. But I love President Obama's book, The Audacity of Hope. That means in spite of what you're facing, you can hope beyond that. And that's what our youth need. Our youth need to be able to see beyond their current circumstances. And that's why that workshop, I know, is going to be a killer when it comes to killing negativity, but actually inspiring positivity and hope for the future in our youth.
I love it. And Phyllis Weaver says, beautifully stated about the youth's desire for leadership. And that is so true. They desire to step up. They are wise beyond their years because of the things that they have access to, the technology, the social media, the global connection. This no longer 6 degrees of separation, but really 1 degree of separation because of the phones and the laptops and the tablets that they have access to. And so they see what's happening with our world. And many of them are in despair because of the current leadership around the world isn't living up to expectations, for lack of a better phrase. So they want to step up and be those leaders. And it's incumbent upon us to not only let them spread their wings in leadership, but to guide them in a positive, creative way so that they can lead and be the leaders of not just the future, but the leaders of now. Because, you know, many of us need to see the new, fresh ideals, the new takes on things that our youth are bringing to the table each and every day. So I'm so glad that you are including that into our conference, the conference that you guys definitely need to be a part of. And I know I've said it a couple of times, but I'm gonna keep on saying it throughout this broadcast. It is the Next Level Leadership Summit, and it's coming to your home, your computer, your TV screen, October 8th through the 10th. And all you have to do is go over to NLLSummit.com and you'll get more information about how you can be a part of this groundbreaking, life-changing, phenomenal conference that is being put on by our founder, Cicone Prince. So, Cicone, if they went over to NLLSummit.com now, what would they see?
Well, they will see a countdown that shows how many days we have until the summit. They would also have a button to where they can go and they can get their tickets. They'll also be able to see a ticker that shows some of our sponsors, not all, but some of them that have already committed, in fact, to be a part of the summit. but they'll also see the flyer that has all of the speakers on there. They'll even get a nice little promo video showing the importance of developing your workforce and your management, offering them an opportunity to get information that will help better your organization. And speaking of organizations, that is another one of the leadership workshops that we're going to be having, organizational leadership. Now, I know I mentioned earlier about corporate leadership, but organizational leadership is more of a leading for a cause. Corporate leadership is leading for profit. Organizational leadership is leading for a cause. And most of the time in organizations, people are volunteers. They are there because they believe in the cause. And so we're going to have somebody talking about how to best lead in an organization, because people, again, they're volunteers. So there's a different set of dynamics needed to be utilized in organizational leadership. And as you can see on the screen right there, there's a flyer which has, of course, myself as the host, has our MC, Dr. Wendell Graham, and then all of the other speakers that are going to be a part of this dynamic event. Dr. Reuben West, Dr. Wesley P. Ryan, Billy Boyer, Terrence Lethbridge, Monique Tucker, Fred Robinson, and none other than DJ Mike J, who's going to be our DJ for the virtual event. So this is going to be a show-stopping event. And the goodie bag, what I really need to do, and that's on me, I haven't done it just yet, but the goodie bag itself is going to have more than the price of admission in value. Okay, the goodie bag for the event, the one that you get once you register, it's going to have so much in. It's going to be, I know, at least 3 times the actual price, the value of the stuff you're going to get. And I also have another surprise that I really can't share with you right now.
Come on, Cicone, why not?
I can't do it, man. I can't do it because I got to wait till the event. But I'm going to do a little teaser. Okay. I would at least tell you what it is.
Come on, it's a Real Men Speak podcast exclusive. What's going to be happening?
I'm going to be dropping my 5th book at the summit. My 5th book. And I can't even tell you what the title is. I have a little teaser graphics, in fact, that I'll be sharing soon. But you're only going to be able to get it at the event. It's going to be given at the event first. And so you'll be able to purchase it online there. In fact, before I make it public anywhere else. But Terrence, just a quick aside. Have you ever found yourself kind of scared? And what I mean by scared is when you truly take an inventory of everything that you've been given and you see the huge responsibility that comes with it.
Yes.
As I've been writing this book, I was saying to myself, I didn't know that I had that much in me. I'm serious. But it's not a rehash of the old stuff that I've already done. I mean, all of the stuff that I've gone through is culminating. And I mean, it's coming together. I don't want to by no means sound conceited, but I am impressed with the book. And I say that with all humility. But when I look at the information that's being shared, when I look at the experiences that I've gone through that have fed me to be able to put this book together, I mean, it's just, to me, it's just over the top. It's over the top. And once you hear the title, once you see the cover, once you get into the meat of it, it's going to change. It's going to give you something that's going to give you a legacy when it comes to leadership. And I'm going to just leave it at that, because if I say anything else, I'm going to give it away. But I am super excited about releasing my 5th book, and it is going to be a game changer when it comes to not only just how you lead, but who you lead and why. So.
And Phyllis said, yes, that was a teaser. You put it out there and you pulled it right back. I love it. But here's what I want to say. And this comes from the personal relationship that we have with each other, and being a part of some of your previous conferences, your previous summits, I see the culmination. See, because the other summits were called "Are You Climbing the Wrong Mountain?"
Right.
And then you use the website "Climbing the Right Mountain."
Right.
And
Right.
so here's what I know. Here's how I know it's all come together. Because when you stop climbing the wrong mountain and you start climbing the right mountain and you get to that next level, the higher you go, the more that is revealed to you. The more that is revealed to you, the more that you are, more that's put inside of you. And just like the two different types of leadership you're going to be talking about, inner leadership and outer leadership, it's got to be birthed in you before it becomes out of you. And as you've climbed your mountain and gotten to the mountaintop, the Creator has blessed you with more and more inside of you that now that is just boiling over, ready to be shared with the rest of the world. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what God is doing in you. And I'm absolutely excited about what God's going to bring out of you, because I know what he brings out of you is just going to be a blessing that's going to be poured on everybody that you come in contact with, especially at this conference. So if you guys don't have a reason yet to sign up for the NLL Summit, he just gave it to you. He just teased you. There is a blessing in store for you, and you ain't even got to go anywhere to get it. The only thing you got to do is go and register at NLLsummit.com. NLLsummit.com. Let me put that up there on the full screen so that you can see. You only have 37 days, 50 minutes, and 52 seconds to be a part of the Next Level Leadership Summit, to hear all these power-packed speakers, a phenomenal MC Wendell Graham, and then you're going to get some phenomenal information from the likes of Dr. Ruben West on outer leadership, Wesley Perrine on corporate leadership, Billy Boyer, organizational leadership. Monique Tucker is going to talk to you about that female leadership. Frederick Robinson giving you critical information about how we can help our youth become leaders, our leaders not of just tomorrow, but of right now. And oh, by the way, there's some guy that Cicone had mercy on and added to the list that's going to be talking to you about male leadership. Terrence Leffers, don't worry about him, but music, because music is the key. The music is going to blend everything together and make it all make sense, done by the man who is going to free your mind so that you can free your land, is DJ Michael Freeland. So you definitely want to have your face in the place at the NLLsummit.com. Go on over and register right now. Get all the details, get all the sneak peek. Did I say everything or about it that I needed to say, Cicone?
You covered it all, man. You definitely covered it all. I am overjoyed. I am excited because I know what it's like to have something awaken inside of you. I know what it's like to have the obstacles that you put in your own way removed. I know what it's like to be able to open up the gift that's inside of you. And that's what all of these speakers are there to do. They are there to help you to see the gift that you already have inside of you. And so my biggest joy is when people's eyes are open to their own possibilities, for them being able to see themselves in a different place and in a different space in their own life. And that's why I know it's important to invest in yourself and to put yourself in a position to where you can grow and mature and become a better person. And attending an event like this would never, ever be a detriment to you. If anything, it's going to be an asset. Benjamin Franklin said that you'll never go broke investing in yourself. So make the investment. And it's a small investment. I mean, and you can find out the price once you go to the website, but it's a small investment for everything that you're going to get and what you're going to receive. I tell you, when it's all said and done, you're going to be a better person. You're going to be able to attack leadership from a more confident angle and position, because you know within yourself you have everything that you need in order to lead and lead effectively. There are some leaders that aren't effective, but we want to make sure that you are effectively equipped to lead in whatever situation you find yourself in, whether it's inner leadership, outer leadership, corporate leadership, organizational leadership, male leadership, female leadership, or youth leadership. Whichever category you find yourself in, and I think we covered them all. You should be able to walk away more confident that you can lead in those areas. And so I'm excited. I am super excited.
I am super excited as well. I know this is going to be the premier event of 2020. And that's saying a lot, talking about how 2020 has gone so far.
Yeah.
But here's the one thing I know. John F. Kennedy said that leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. Now, you may have heard that good leaders are born, but here's one thing I know. Good leaders learn to become great leaders. Yes. So if you already want to take what's inside of you as a good leader and take it to the next level, then bring your pen, your pad, and your attention to your computer screen on October 8th through October 10th, where you will learn to be a great leader by taking it to the next level at the Next Level Summit on October 8th through October 10th. Again, register now at NLLSummit.com, and we will see your face in the place on that computer screen, learning to become a great leader. I'm going to give you the final word as always, Cicone. Tell them why they should come. Tell them how it's going to affect them if they don't come. And then any last thoughts you want to share?
Well, I definitely have to say that if leadership is something that you feel is needed right where you are, I'm not talking about anywhere else, I'm talking about right where you are, then you need to be at this summit. I heard somebody say that the problem with not stepping up to leadership is that you run the risk of somebody unqualified leading you. If you know that you are qualified to lead, if you've taken the time to pour in yourself and to develop yourself as a person, then why not step up to the mountain of leadership? And I know it's a responsibility. I know it can be risky. I know that it can be taxing, but it can also be rewarding. It can also be worth it. So we want you to be equipped and ready to step up for leadership. And this event is going to do just that. It's going to give you the confidence you need. It's going to give you the skills you need. It's going to give you the tenacity that you need to take on leadership, starting with yourself and then starting with leading others. So being a part of this summit is going to make all the difference in the world as to how you see yourself and you stepping up to that role of leadership. Now, if you choose not to attend, you run the risk of putting yourself in a position of being led by somebody who's unqualified. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to the people around you. If anything, be in attendance, get the skills you need, and learn what it is it's going to take to be an effective leader so you can lead effectively. And not only that, but then you can actually help train and lead somebody else. That's one thing that all of the greats do. Somebody once said that a true leader doesn't make followers. A true leader makes other leaders. But in order for you to do that, you have to learn how to lead yourself. And that's what this summit is going to allow you to do. I want to thank Coach T for allowing me this opportunity to share with you about our upcoming event. And again, October 8th through the 10th, online at NLLSummit.com. You can find out more information. You can register there. And you can also prepare yourself to be blown away by everything that we're going to be doing those 3 days. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this. I did also want to mention, too, that I am going to be doing a keynote, a live keynote. I've already done my workshop, but I am going to be doing a live keynote that Saturday, which is going to tie all of this together and bring everything into one solid, congealed leadership jello that you can take with you, that's going to help you wherever you find yourself. So I'm super excited about that as well.
And as well, you should be. And we are all excited to see it and hear it coming up in a few days away. 73 days. It's gonna not even that long. 32. 37. You know, I'm dyslexic. 37 days away. You can have your face in the place at the Next Level Leadership Summit. You know, here's what I know. I know somebody watching, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching replay, you have something inside of you that's yearning to get out. You have some action that yet you haven't fulfilled. You have some cause that you yet haven't funded. You have some purpose that you yet have not fulfilled. But that's why God created these two phenomenal words, yet and but. You may not be the leader you were destined to be yet, but if you show up to the Next Level Leadership Summit on October 8th through the 10th, I guarantee you will find some tips, tools, and strategies to help propel you into the person that you were created to be. But it all begins with action. And action is something that you can do right now. You are able to go over and click NLLSummit.com and secure your spot so that you will no longer be saying, I'm not a leader yet, because you will have taken action today to be the person you were created to be tomorrow. So go on over to NLLSummit.com. I look forward to seeing you there. Cicone looks forward to seeing you there, and all the other phenomenal speakers that will grace that platform are looking forward to seeing you there on October 8th through October 10th to hear this real man, Cicone Prince, speak and take you to the next level of your greatness. So there's nothing left for you to do but click that button, and we'll see you at the top. And where's that? At the Next Level Leadership Summit.
Yes, sir.
I'm Terrence, the Unstoppable Coach Leffridge. This has been Real Men Speak, because we recognize that when real men speak, not only are lives changed, but nations are changed. Tune into the podcast each and every week, live on our Facebook page, Real Men Speak Live, or any one of our podcast partners hosted by Anchor.fm, also on Apple, on Google Play, Spotify, and many other platforms. And as always, in parting, until we meet again, don't just go out and make it a great day. Find the leadership in you by clicking that button and taking action over at nextlevelleadershipsummit.com and make it an unstoppable day. Take care.
Bye.